Welcome into the Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, I have 5 dream scenarios for the Baltimore Ravens in 2023. We'll tell you what they are and what it will take to achieve them coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, I want you guys to weigh in and give me your dream scenario for the Ravens this season. I have mine, but want to hear yours first. Tell me what it is. Is it a Super Bowl? Is it something specific? Tell me what your dream scenario is for the Ravens, and we'll get started with today's show. So I have 5 perfect situations that we'll go through. And if the Ravens accomplish any of these things, this will go a long way. Let's put it that way. And as things always do, it begins with the quarterback position. And for the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson returning to MVP form would go a very long way for this Baltimore Ravens team and Lamar Jackson. We know that he's capable. We know that the talent is there. But can he stay healthy, and can the offensive staff put it all together with the weapons around him for Lamar to play at an elite level again? He's missed a total of 10 games over the last 2 seasons. He's entering the first year of a record-setting 5-year $260 million contract for the 2-time Pro Bowler and former NFL MVP. We know that he's capable of playing at an extremely high level, but is everything going to come together? That needs to be seen here. And if you go back to Lamar's MVP season back in 2019 when he threw for 36 touchdowns, leading the league in passing touchdowns that year, by the way, only had 6 interceptions and a completion percentage of 66%. The questions that are always out there when it comes to Lamar and as a passer, I mean, he has showed us that he can be the passer that is more than capable and good enough based on what he did that season. That I believe that we can get that Lamar back once again to that level of passer that we've seen previously. And they've put a lot of work into the receiving room. More on that coming up in a moment. The rushing numbers for Lamar, I don't think that Lamar is going to run nearly as much as what we've seen in the past now that he's getting older, and this system is going to want him to be more of a pocket passer. But just knowing that how much of a threat Lamar Jackson is, that he's the most explosive player in the National Football League, you're going to keep defenses on their toes. And defenses need to fear Lamar Jackson. They're going to get that MVP caliber player every time he takes the football field for Baltimore, as far as I'm concerned. So our pen comment today: will Lamar Jackson return to MVP form? You might get an ad break if so. Take advantage of it. Get your votes in. Type Y for yes, N for no. What do you think? Does Lamar get back to MVP form this season? Let me know what you think. Y for yes, N for no. So building upon that, number 2 in our dream scenarios for Baltimore is new offensive coordinator Todd Monken fixing the Ravens offense. And I got to tell you, the resume on Todd Monken says that he can get the job done. If you were listening to this show just several months ago, when we were talking about replacements for Greg Roman, even before Greg Roman had been fired, Todd Monken was the number 1 candidate on my list. We advocated heavily for Todd Monken to get this job, and we are more than pleased here at the Ravens Rundown that he is the guy and he's the right man to be taking over this Ravens offense. He helped lead Georgia to 2 national titles the last 2 seasons in college football from 2021 to 2022. Has experience at the NFL level as well with the Jags, the Bucks, and the Cleveland Browns, and he's always been an innovator of some sorts. Todd Monken first stood out to me several years ago when he was the offensive coordinator for the Oklahoma State Cowboys, and with what he did with the diamond formation and the various different air raid concepts and schemes that he did there, he's going to bring this to the Baltimore Ravens, and I think you're going to like what you see from Todd Monken in Baltimore. What the offense will look like in Baltimore with Todd Monken calling the shots here, you're going to see the Ravens create space, attack the entire field. There'll be a strong run game with more play action than we've seen. Although Monken has a history of running an air raid offense, you're not going to see a full-on air raid offense in Baltimore, but there will be concepts of the air raid. The Ravens will also have the ability to dictate tempo. If they need to run a NASCAR no-huddle offense, they can do that at times. But they can slow the game down if they need to as well. And Ravens fans, we know how well that tight end room is in Baltimore. Watch out for Monken to use those tight ends effectively to create mismatches with Mark Andrews, with Isaiah Likely, and don't sleep on Charlie Kolar either as far as I'm concerned. The offensive rankings. Here is what the job is at hand for Monken to fix this offense in Baltimore. Points per game last year, they were 20th with 20.4 points per game. And that number went down every single year that Greg Roman was in Baltimore. Yards per game, they were 16th in the league last year. Third down conversion rate, 41%, not bad. But then when we get to the bottom two statistics, that's the thing that really stands out here. The fourth down defense was awful last year at just below 44%. But the red zone touchdown scoring that was put together, folks, was 30th in the league. Got to do a better job of capitalizing. Stay out of the friend zone, get into the end zone, get those touchdowns, show us those TDs. We need to see more of that from the Baltimore Ravens in 2023 with that scoring number at 44%, 30th in the league a season ago. So let me ask you this. What is your confidence level in Todd Monken fixing this offense in Baltimore? Weigh in. Tell me in the comments section what you think. Scale it for me 1 through 10, what your confidence level is that the Ravens offense gets back on track with Todd Monken calling the shots. Let me know what you think. The 4th of July is just around the corner, and Ravens fans, I got good news for you. We have Ravens 4th of July shirts available on sale now in the wonderful red, white, and blue with the American flag draped over the word Ravens on these shirts. And, you know, we have these shirts that we sell throughout different holidays, like St. Patty's Day and Christmas and all that. And I got to tell you, every day is a great day to be a proud American in this country, the greatest country on earth. And with this, although we're talking about selling these for the 4th of July, you can wear these Ravens shirts all year long as far as I'm concerned. You can get yours now right in time for the 4th of July holiday as well. So what are you waiting for? Get yours today, chatsports.com/RavensUSA. Support your Baltimore Ravens and America at the same time. What better combination is there than those two? Get yours now at chatsports.com/RavensUSA. Number 3 on our dream scenarios for the Baltimore Ravens in 2023 is a star emerging from the Ravens receiving corps. We know that the Ravens have invested a lot in this group, bringing in Zay Flowers as well as OBJ and Nelson Aguilar this offseason. But with that being said, there's not a one guy that is the number one receiver. It's not established yet of who that guy is at this point in time. Don't forget about Rashad Bateman. He could also be the guy that emerges. I don't care who it is. They just need somebody to step up and have a breakout campaign and emerge among this receiving corps and get what they're paying for with the investment that Eric DeCosta and company put in this offseason. And you can see here are the receiving leaders that are back with this Ravens team that are going to be on the roster in 2023. Mark Andrews with over 800 yards last year and 5 touchdowns. Devin Duvernay with 407 yards, 3 touchdowns. Isaiah Likely with 373 yards and 3 touchdowns. Nelson Aguilar had 362 yards and 2 touchdowns. Of course, that wasn't in Baltimore. That was in New England. But nonetheless, Nelson Aguilar has been a guy that sounds like has impressed throughout this offseason. And then Rashad Bateman, hopefully he can stay healthy and he can be the number one receiver that he was expected to be when he was coming out of the NFL draft a couple of years ago out of Minnesota. He, last year before he got hurt, had 15 catches for 285 yards and 2 touchdowns with over 19 yards a reception. The guy I'm looking out for, too, in particular, that could be the one that really stands out and emerges is the rookie Zay Flowers, the first-round pick out of Boston College. Mel Kiper Jr. rated him as the number 1 wide receiver in this year's draft. And based on Mel's number as the number 13 overall player, the Ravens got incredible value picking him when they did later on in the first round. And At Boston College last year, I'm sure most folks probably couldn't even name who was passing the football to Zay Flowers at Boston College. If you could, more power to you. But even with that said, with having questionable quarterback play, he was still able to manage to have over 1,000 yards receiving at BC last year with 12 touchdowns, close to 14 yards per reception in 78 receptions. Set a lot of records at Boston College. Watch out for Zay Flowers to have an instant impact on this Ravens offense. And everything we've heard about what he's done in this offseason, Zay Flowers has really impressed so far to this point. Who will lead the Ravens in receiving this season? Will it be Zay Flowers, OBJ, or somebody else? Tell me in the comment section who you believe will be the leading receiver for the Baltimore Ravens this year. Folks, we are right on the verge of 10,000 subscribers here on the channel, and we're just about 129 away from reaching that milestone. We need your help to get there, though. You can subscribe for free today for the latest happenings in your favorite team. We're bringing you news and rumors segments each and every day, live shows from time to time, watch parties for the more marquee games this season. And the more subscribers we get, the more content we can bring you. We could do more watch parties during the season as well. So subscribe now for free. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. YouTube.com/RavensTV to subscribe for free today. Number 4 on our dream scenarios for the Baltimore Ravens is Patrick Queen becoming an elite linebacker, taking that next step. We know that Patrick Queen is a very talented player, but there's still more work to be done. He got off to a slow start last year, but played a lot better in the second half of the season, and Roquan Smith and him were a good tag team, tandem together, and we saw Patrick Queen really just start to grow in that second half of the season. You'd like to see him continue, pick up from where he left off in 2022 as far as that goes, and he's played with a chip on his shoulder. Something to prove. The former first-round pick had his fifth-year option declined, so he will be, as of right now, a free agent in 2024. We've heard Eric DeCosta say that he believes that Patrick Queen is a Pro Bowl caliber linebacker, that they want to keep him a long time, but obviously he still has something to prove at this point. Last season was definitely the best of his career with 117 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, and 2 interceptions. What can Patrick Queen do this time? Can he take that next step? That remains to be seen, but you would love to see him become the player that he's been built up to be. And if he doesn't, remember, they have another option, Trenton Simpson, who they drafted out of Clemson in the 3rd round, and there's a lot of excitement about what he brings to the table too. So Patrick Queen, it's put up or shut up time. Let's see what he can do. Time to play buy or sell here on Ravens Rundown. Patrick Queen will be an elite linebacker this season. Are you buying that or are you selling that? Weigh in the comment section. Tell me what you think. Type B for buy, type S for sell. Tell me what you think, one way or the other. B for buy, S for sell, if Patrick Queen will be an elite linebacker this season or not. Last on this list of the dream scenarios for the Baltimore Ravens, we stay on the defensive side of the ball. And the defense as a whole takes the next step forward. Things got off to a rough start for the Ravens last year before Roquan Smith showed up. The pass defense in particular was abysmal, but they finished off the season in the right direction with how far this defense came from where it started. You can see points per game, yards per game. Those were very good numbers for the Baltimore Ravens. 3rd in the league in points allowed, and yards per game, they were 6th in the league at just below 320 yards. But here's the negative, the things that really stood out of where there's work to be done for the Ravens. The opponent completion percentage was 27th in the league. 4th down conversion rate was extremely high. It was 62.5%. That was 28th in the National Football League. And then opponent passing yards per game was around 230 yards. You can see that was 23rd in the league. So the big areas of focus for the Ravens has got to be on pass coverage and stopping those 4th down conversions as far as that goes. Make them furious so they're not going for it as much in 4th down either, as far as I'm concerned. So to recap, the dream scenarios for your Baltimore Ravens in 2023, Lamar Jackson returning to MVP form, Todd Monken fixing the Ravens offense, a star emerging from the receiving corps in Baltimore. In particular, we're watching out for Zay Flowers. Patrick Queen becoming an elite linebacker and proving that he deserves his next contract. Well, number 5 is the defense as a whole taking that next step as Roquan Smith continues to lead that side of the ball. Chime in before we go. What's your biggest concern for the Ravens this season? Let me know. Be honest with me. What concerns you about this season ahead? Tell me what you think in the comments section. Interact with me on social media. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook is where you can find me at Tyler Jones Live. Appreciate you joining us. We'll see you next time here on Ravens Rundown.